أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربنا زدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين. Welcome to level 4 advanced round structures. Today inshallah we are starting lesson number 32 and it is about hal. So, hal is a word that describes the condition or state of someone or something at the time an action happens. So, simply, we can understand it like it is a word or it can be a jumla ismiya or jumla failure that is describing the state during the action. So, we can say that the key idea is that hal does not tell what happened, but it tells how it happened. So, one thing also we need to remember that about this Saibul Hal. The one experiencing that state, that Hal is called the Saibul Hal. Like these are the examples I have shared here in English, so you can get the picture of how the Hal works. So here, Ahmad walked quickly. The child sat while smiling. The cat came running towards us. So here in all these three sentences, you can see the highlighted words. So the sometimes this hal in English, like it can be represented by the words or the verbs that are ending with ly, like here quickly. Ahmed walked, but how? Quickly. So this is quickly is telling us the hal of Ahmed, like when he was walking, when he walked, what was the hal? What was the condition of Ahmed? So he was walking quickly. So Ahmed is the Saibul hal and quickly is the hal, the condition in which he was walking. So we can notice that it is coming with an action. And the hal is just describing the state or the condition at that moment. So you can see this from this statement. So we can simply say that it answers the question how, like kaifa. So Ahmed walked quickly. Then the next example is the child sat while smiling. Sometimes you see hal like translated, being translated as starting with while. Like here, the child sat, the child sat. What was the condition of the child while he was sitting? Like the child was smiling. So, Saibul Hal, the child is a Saibul Hal, and while smiling is the Hal of the child, the condition of the child. Then we have the cat came running towards us. So here you can see this example. Again, the cat is the Saibul Hal, and running towards us is the Hal of the cat. So we can notice that the Hal is translated, can be translated as ending with ly adverbs and also with the ing forms. And sometimes we see the translation of Hal being starting with while or as. So here, as we are done with the examples with the Hal, so we need to remember a few things about Hal, that it can only appear in a complete sentence, like when the sentence is complete. Then we see the word that is describing the condition. Like if the Hal is removed, the sentence still makes sense. It is still complete. Like we have these examples, Ahmed walked and the child sat and the dog came or the cat came. So if we remove all these words, we can still see the sentences are complete. Ahmed walked, the child sat and the cat came. So while removing this hal, it is not affecting the sentence. But we can say that while it is describing the word, it gives extra detail, not the main meaning. Also, without the hal, the sentence is complete. But with hal, the sentence becomes clearer and more vivid. Like here, we can see these examples. So, this is just a brief introduction about the hal, and shall we go into more detail with this. So, remember also a few points that the hal can appear in one of the three forms. Like it can It can appear in one of the three forms: an ism in the nasab state, in the form of jumla fi'liya, in the form of jumla ismiya, like these things. So hal can appear in one of these three forms: an ism in the nasab state, jumla fi'liya, and jumla ismiya that starts with a waw, also called as waw haliya, because it tells the hal of that jumla ismiya. Inshallah, let's continue. So, as mentioned, that hal can be seen in one of these forms: mufrad isim in the nasab state, in the form of jumla fi'liya, and also in the form of jumla ismiya that is preceded by a waw haliya, because that waw haliya, that simple waw, is telling us the hal of that jumla ismiya. Let's continue with hal as an isim. Here are some points that we need to remember when we are talking about the hal and when it is in the form of an isim. Like when a hal appears as an isim, so here it often appears as an isim file or isim maful. So this is the first point that we need to remember when a hal appears as an isim, and we need to remember that it can be like isim file or it can be isim maful. Also, it can appear as an isim sifa or sometimes as a masdar. So there are four things that we need to remember. Like hal can appear when it is an isim. It can be isim file. It can be isim maful. It can appear as a sifa, and also sometimes it can appear as a masdar as well. The one more thing that we need to remember, that it must match in number and gender with the sahibul hal. And we know that what is Sahibul Hal? The Sahibul Hal is the one about which we are describing that condition. So this Hal must match a number and gender with the Sahibul Hal. Also, we learn that a Hal only appears in a complete sentence. Like if you are going to remove the hal, it is still, the sentence is still making sense. So it should be, this hal should be identified only after the main points of the sentence are clear, such as if it is a fail, it is a file, or maful, or or like that. So we need to see that hal will be appearing in a sentence when the sentence is complete, and in the end we'll mostly see an ism in the form of hal. Also, to find the Saibul hal, determine who is experiencing the state described. So in this way, we are going to see some examples to understand this point, that to find this Saibul hal, the about one we are describing that condition, that hal. So we'll see that who is that one about which we are describing that state. So that will be Sabul Hal. So without Hal, the sentence is still complete. And also that with the Hal, the sentence becomes more clear and more vivid. So let's see some examples from the Quran now. So here, this first example is Vama arsalnaka alayhim wakila. We did not send you as a protector over them. So here I have highlighted the Saibul Hal as green and our Hal as blue. So we see Vama Arsalnaka, we did not send you. We did not send you. Still making sense? So here we see we did not send you. But what is a Hal? As a protector, as a protector. So we see here, this is Mansoob, this is Isim, this is in the end of the sentence. So and also it is singular, so it is making this will be our hal. Also, we can notice that this is describing this ka here, which is the saibul hal here. This is a maful bihi in this sentence. So we did not send you as a protector over them. So the hal and this ayah is isim sifa as a protector. This is describing this mansoob. So if the hal is removed, the sentence is still complete. Also, we can see that it matches the number and the gender with the sahibul hal because this is singular and this is also a singular noun. And in this case, as we can see, this is our this pronoun ka is a sahibul hal. This is our first example. Let's move on to the next example now. Here we have وَإِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا مَكَانًا ضَيِّقًا مُقَرَّنِينَ دَعُوا هُنَالِكَ صُبُورًا. When they, so here you see, when they are thrown in a tight place within it, chained up. What is the condition when they are thrown in the tight place? They are changed up. They are chained up. They pray for death there and then. So here we see this hal in this ayah as a ism maf'ul, uh, because as you can see here, when they are thrown in a tight place. So this is ism maf'ul. Also, it is mansub, and if we remove it, the sentence is still complete, like when they are thrown in a tight place. So this is just complete sentence, but hal is an extra, we can say, information. This is an extra detail, not the main meaning. But we know that with this hal, the sentence becomes clearer and more vivid, we can say. So now also note that this is matching with the number and the gender with this harbol hal, which is a pronoun ulku here, this wal jama. So here, this is the example when they are thrown in the tight place within it, chained up. So this chained up is the hal of they in this case. We have the next example now. الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم. Those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sitting and standing and on their sides. Now here we can see this yaskuruna is our sahibul hal, and the hal is highlighted as blue. In this case, it is qiyamun wa qu'udan. So here, those who remember Allah. So here the sentence is complete. Now, what is a hal? Now it is describing this sahibul hal, that those who remember Allah in what condition? In the position of standing and sitting. So this hal in this sentence, um, this is making Sabul Hal more clear and more vivid. So those who remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sitting or standing and on their side. So Kaman is the plural of Qaim and Qud is the plural of Qaid. And both are in this ayat, they are isim file, which is in this case it is mansoob, because we know that the hal is always in the state of nasab, and that if it is removed, the sentence is still complete. Allazina yazkuruna Allah, those who remember Allah. Also, it matches the number and gender with the sahibul hal. In this case, it is yaskuruna, so we know that they are both plural form, kyaman and kudan, the qaim and the plural of qaim and kud. So we have these examples for this hal as a singular or a mufrad ism. Let's see the last example for hal as an ism, mufrad. وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا, and do not walk around on earth. So now we can see this sentence is complete. Just remove this arrogantly, marahan, arrogantly. If we are going to remove this hal, the sentence is still complete. And do not walk around on earth. وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ. So the hal is in this ayah is a masdar, arrogantly, which is mansoob. We know that it's a mufrad coming as a hal must be in the state of nasab. So here in this case, marhan, and that if the hal is removed, the sentence is still complete. So also we can see that the masdar does not necessarily have to match in gender or number, because we know that this masdar cannot be made into its feminine form and always stays in the singular form. So this is Varatamshi filardi marahan, and do not walk around on earth arrogantly. So this is the last example for Simufrat coming as the hal. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. So we learn about hal that brings action to life and shows the condition in which the action takes place. And without the hal, the sentence is still complete, but with the hal, the sentence becomes clearer and more vivid. Also, it gives extra detail and not just the main meaning. And it is normally mansoob, uh, like mostly for isim mufrad, like in all these examples, and often it comes as a describing word. So this is the hal, and inshallah we are going to continue this, and we learn about how hal is coming as jumla failure in the next session. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.